What is going on, guys? Twitchy Tango here, and last video we covered the antagonist, and of course we can't cover the game without talking about the protagonist. So in this video we're going to talk about people like Ashley, Leon, Ada, Luis, good old Mike, and just going to have a wonderful time with that. And discuss what I want to see out of them in the remake, what I hope to see out of them in the remake. More Louise wouldn't be a bad thing. More Ashley, a better Ashley wouldn't be a bad thing. And of course, Mike surviving would be a great thing. But without further ado, let's jump into it.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
It's probably best to talk about the man who's front and center, Leon. Leon Scott Kennedy will be, I think, completely different from his original self in Resident Evil 4, mainly because the continuity will feel more concrete. Leon will actually be done by the same voice actor, unlike the original. So there's a lot more continuity to his character than there was originally. And this is a pretty good way to really showcase his growth from rookie cop during the events of Raccoon City to a man working for the President of the United States. And I'm very excited for this take on Leon, because this will be the first genuine time we've had some sort of genuine continuity between the titles. The reason I say that is because Resident Evil 4 to Resident Evil 2 original, different voice actors, a completely different Leon. Of course, Leon had all that training, but I don't know. This feels like this is different. We'll be able to see just how he dealt with the events of Raccoon City. We'll get to see him grow from still dealing with the trauma of what he felt and saw to overcoming it all and being the badass we all knew and love. And that's exciting. He still holds on to the past of what he experienced in Raccoon City with the knife that Marvin Branagh gave him, as well as getting a gun made by Robert Kendo's brother, Joseph. So he still holds on to the past and what he experienced that fateful day in Raccoon City. He has a deep connection to it all. And that's something I'm very excited and hopeful for in the remake, is really showcasing Leon, how far he's come from the events of Raccoon City to now, experiencing the traumatic events that he dealt with and being able to overcome it. It's something I'm very excited for with Leon. And I think we can all agree seeing this side of Leon is an awesome thing. Seeing him overcome the events of Raccoon City in real time. Because with the original, we never really got that. We never got Leon overcoming everything that he saw because he had already overcome it all. So I'm very excited and hopeful for this take on Leon. I think Nick's going to do a great job with this Leon, and I think we can all agree seeing Leon grow from what he experienced in Raccoon City to being this badass we all know and love is pretty exciting. And it's almost like they're capturing that essence of Leon, because he's still got the one-liners. He still sounds great. So yeah, I'd be interested to hear what you guys think on Leon's return in Remake 4. What are you excited for? What are you hopeful for? Let me know down below, and we'll hop into the next one.
Ashley!
Don't come!
I don't think many would argue that Ashley needs some sort of improvement from her original self, whether it's how she plays or what she does, which I think they know, and it almost seems certain that we're going to be playing more of her, as well as I think she's going to have a massive improvement judging from the trailer we've seen. So yeah, I'm very optimistic towards how Ashley's going to play in the remake. I think she's one of the characters that isn't terrible. I don't think she's a bad character. I think a lot of people give her a lot of crap because they can't play to her very well, and the ones complaining about Ashley are always using her armor, And honestly, as someone who hasn't used her armor in years, I played through several professional runs, several randomizer runs on professional. Honestly, she's not even the worst thing about the game. But yeah, I'd love to see an improvement of her as a character as well as how she plays. I think one of the big things is making her not feel completely dependent on Leon throughout the entirety of the game. She doesn't have to be like, Elizabeth from Bioshock Infinite, but she does need to be able to hold her own, be able to get away from people when it's just not possible for us to get to her. Of course, not right out the gate, but as the game progresses, I think Ashley has the potential to be a great character. I don't think she's a terrible character to begin with, but it'd definitely be nice to see an improvement of her original self. And I do think that's what the remake is giving us, because it almost seems certainly we're going to be playing more as her, judging from the first trailer we got of her in the starting area. So yeah, I'm very, very optimistic for Ashley. I think certain things that she needs to do, I've talked about in other videos, like be able to, as we progress further in the story, she's able to find treasures and the like thereof, be able to get things that we can't reach to or can't reach. So yeah, I'd like to see an overhaul of Ashley. I think we are getting that in the remake. I don't think she's a bad character. I feel like the remake has given us a new side of Ashley, and I think she sounds fantastic. I think she sounds wonderful, and I think she's going to be improved upon from her original self 100-fold. And I think we can all agree that's not a bad thing. More Ashley, if she's been improved, is great, as long as she does not stay the same helpless person that we've known for so long. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about Ashley. I feel like she needs to be improved. I feel like she will be improved. And I can't wait to see where she goes in the remake. So let's hop into the next one.
Little rough, don't you think?
A little rough, don't you think? SERA, my man, honestly has more of an impact on this game than I think Krauser does. I know what you're gonna say, but Adam, without Krauser, there would be no Ashley. That's fair, but as someone that the Resident Evil community thinks about more often, I think Luis is it, man. Like, but, and here's the but, we don't see enough of him, and I think that's just kind of the lasting impact of his character. The fact that we see him so little, yet we all love SERA. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think Leon screaming out his name was earned. Because how could it be earned when you barely spend any time with him? Bear in mind, the biggest event that they had together was the raid on the house, and they worked together to stop the onslaught of Ganados. But still, this is the one thing I'm going to love about the remake, is because it clearly looks like Leon's not going to trust him outright to begin with like he did in the original. And it will take some monumentous occasion for them to come together and, unite. And that'll be, of course, when the Ganados assault the house. So Leon's going to go from not trusting him, because, Luis looks like a total sleazebag, and I'm all for it. I think that's what originally Luis was they were going for Luis. And now they do with all this hyper-realistic stuff. And he looks great. Don't take it from me calling him sleazebag. He looks like someone you wouldn't want to trust. But Leon's going to build that trust with him when they get assaulted during the events of the raid on the house that night. And I think we'll see more of Luis in the remake. I feel like that's just something that we need more of. We need more Luis. I have a feeling I'm going to love this take on him. Because as much as I love the original Luis, I feel like his death and Leon shouting his name was just never truly earned, And I know what you're thinking, Adam, that's dumb. That's just the type of guy Leon is. But I feel like it wasn't earned. And I feel like this remake has a chance for Leon to really connect with SERA in a big way. So when that death happens and he yells at his name, it's going to definitely feel earned. Like, I'm not looking forward to Luis's death at all, because, man, it's going to be so realistic. It's going to be so real and insane when that freaking tendril from Sadler goes through his chest. And I'm going to weep, I'm going to cry because it's Luis Serra. And I think he's a great character who we just didn't get enough of in the original. And I feel like this is Capcom's opportunity to really flesh him out, give him more of a role. We get to see more of him. We get to see him interact with Leon and Ashley more, because that's what I hope for with Luis. Out of all the characters that are getting brought into this remake, Luis is the one I'm hopeful for the most, and I think we can all agree more Luis isn't a bad thing. But let's hop onto the next one, the lady in red, who without her in Leon's life, he would not have no sort of end goal to chase.
Put your hands where I can see them.
Miss Ada Wong, who without Ada, it's really just, I'm flabbergasted because she's such a wonderful, mysterious woman. And I've talked about it in the video, like how Capcom deserves to treat their leading ladies better. Ada is one of those leading ladies that deserves better. But man, oh man, am I not okay with this voice. Because thanks to the chicken man himself, Bakwa Soup, all I hear when I hear Ada's voice is this.
Put the knife down. You touch one hair on Howard's head, and I will shoot you down like a large German bear.
Yep, that's right. That's how I see Ada Wong now, as Eleanor from the Mighty Boosh. That's Bach's fault. But what can you do once you've heard that and now can't unhear it? Honestly, for Ada, there isn't really much to go off her. The main thing I want out of her is not when she meets Leon to not be as standoffish towards him. But another main thing is like, Susie the Spear Hunter made a good point. What if Leon's dealing with the hallucinations of the Plaga during that time, and when Ada shows up, he's thinking he's hallucinating her because he thinks Ada's dead, and Ada sort of has to bring him back to reality that, hey, I'm not dead, I'm alive, I survived what happened, come back to me, Leon. And you know, I think Ada could play a massive role in trying to keep Leon away from the Plaga's control over him and be that focal point. I mean, technically in 4, she sort of stopped him from killing her by kneeing him in the groin, so, you know, amplify that, but more. Because I would honestly love to see Ada be the one thing that keeps Leon away from being consumed by the Plaga. You know, obviously she has her ulterior motives for Wesker and all that, but this could be like a big thing for the remake, is Ada is the one that brings Leon back to his humanity, so he doesn't lose it. So he keeps fighting it. Because regardless how you ship Leon and Claire, or Leon and another character, Leon and Ada is, I feel like, the only relationship to me that connects in a way. You know, canonically speaking, there is no sex in Resident Evil. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you about it, but it doesn't exist. Except, you know, canonically, I think him and Ethan and Wesker are legit the only two people out of the main cast of characters that fuck. But you know what I'm saying? Like, Ada is there for her own reasons, but of course she's gonna want to help Leon, but also allow her to do her own thing. Not necessarily be bottlenecked down to Leon, but allow her to do her own thing. I think giving her a longer playthrough in Assignment Ada would be awesome. Honestly, want to see more of Ada. I think, like Luis, more Ada is a great thing, and I think we should all want more Ada in our life. The Lady in Red, of course. But I don't know really what else to say about her other than, you know, I think she could be the thing that keeps Leon from being consumed by the Plaga. I think she can be the rock that Leon needs. Of course, I'm just gushing over the fact that I love these two very much. That being said, we got to talk about two more people, but let's talk about the merchant himself, the man who gives us a wonderful assortment of weapons to destroy our enemies with.
Got something that might interest you.
I'll be honest with you, I don't have a lot to say about the merchant. I love the merchant. He's great. What are you buying? You know, honestly, I just love hearing the man talk. He can always ask me, what am I buying? I'm just going to stand there and listen to him as I constantly refresh and press the buttons over and over again just to hear that man speak. Honestly, I don't have a lot to say. Stipulation, though. I've got two things I want to say about the merchant. One thing, he gets to leave with us. Two, there's a secret ending where he knocks Ashley off and him and Leon just go out into the sunset together.
Yeah, I said it. I'm not denying what I desire. Merchant deserves to live, man. We don't know if he survived. The Merchant is one of my favorite side characters. And honestly, ever since Resident Evil 4, I've always wanted us to have more Merchant type characters. We never got them in 5, 6. We never got them in 7. But we did get the Duke, and I think he's fine, but he's no Merchant. No, of course, with him leaving with us, I think he just so happens to have another jet ski and goes off into the sunset with us. But yeah, that's what I feel about the Merchant. I think he's great, and I believe he deserves all the loves and drugs that we, as a community, can afford him.
Now that's what I call backup.
My name's Mike. You looking for firepower, you come to the right place.
I know what you guys were thinking. I know, how could he forget the most important Giga Chad character to ever exist in Resident Evil? How could I forget Mike? The guy that, as he said it himself...
Hey, I know a good bar.
Honestly, if we don't get the island, that means that Mike lived and he did not die. And that's good for all of us, because we don't have to deal with the heartbreak of a hyper-realistic helicopter barreling to its death because a Ganado shot him. That's right. That means that, the island possibly isn't even around on this time around. So that means Mike never had to go help Leon. And he lived, guys. Okay, joking aside, Mike is going to show up and he's going to die. But there is a stipulation I have, an idea, if you will. We have to get a secret ending where Leon and Mike, go to that good bar. That's right. It's a secret ending. It's one of the gag endings. Silent Hill has a lot of those gag endings. Resident Evil has never done a silly joke ending, but it'd be great this time around if they meddled with that. Secret ending is you and Mike go to a good bar, but Mike stays in the helicopter the entire time. He just takes Leon to the good bar. Leon gives him a beer, and they have a beer. That's how I want Mike to be remembered. He goes to his good bar, shows Leon. Of course, they leave Ashley to her fate, but Mike knows a good bar, and that's what matters. That's all that matters to Leon, is a good bar. But that's kind of it. Let's close out this video, shall we? There isn't really much left to say other than the fact that I'm very excited for this remake. We've got like 2 more videos to cover. And that'll be it for this Road to Resident Evil 4 Remake. I generally want to hear what you guys think about the protagonists and what you hope to see from them. What do you hope to see with the remake and what they do to the characters? As long as someone like Luis gets more fleshed out, we get to see more. And Ashley has a lot more room to grow. And Ada's more present in the story and helping Leon while also able to do her own thing. I'm going to be optimistic. I think Leon's character is going to be even better than the original. As much as I love RE4 original Leon, I feel like because it's the same voice actor and he's made changes to the voice and the character to sort of fit in line with remake Leon, I'm very hopeful for what Nick does with the character. And, maybe Mike doesn't die after all and the Merchant just being the Merchant. And that's generally, I want to hear what you guys think. What are you hopeful for in the remake? What do you hope they do with the characters? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you're feeling generous, subscribe. As always, Internet, I love you all. I'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy.